Yo, welcome to the KaneSaid Sports Show, and I'm your host, Kane Bradfield. And y'all know my slogan, the fame is free, but the grind costs, baby. Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of KaneSaid. And I'm your host, Kane Bradfield. Y'all know my slogan, baby. The fame is free, but the grind costs, man. I got a special guest in the house, man. Special guest in the house, man. Man, tell the people who you are, baby.
I'm Coach Lasseter. I'm from Hurt County and new head football coach at Hurt County High School.
Yes, sir, man. Representing that Hurt County. We're in the house, man. First of all, man, appreciate you for showing up, man. And man, I'm through the head coach down there, man. I want to talk about, your journey. Getting to become the head coach. And, you know what I mean? So, big dog, give it to him, man. Give it to him. First of all, to give your background a little more so people can understand, more about you.
I mean, I've been at Herd with Coach Barron and Coach Kerbo for 18 years.
Man, yeah.
And so in various roles, and I've worked up through, and I was athletic director for 8 years, and now becoming the head coach whenever Coach Barron left.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a Herd County kid, and came back and really love the school, love the program, love everything about the the community and everything, and want to make sure that it succeeds. So it's not just a school to
right,
us,
right.
Home, so
yeah.
we want to make sure that it's easy to go to work, I guess you would say, because
right.
you're not really going to work, you're just trying to make it better. And
yeah.
so and also on that same token, you feel that pressure to keep it at a certain level. You don't want it to go just be handed over to somebody else that's
right.
not going to appreciate where we come from and all
yeah.
that stuff. So,
yeah.
But I'm thrilled to death about it. Very humbled that they chose me to keep it going, and hopefully we can make it work.
Yes, sir, man. It definitely will, man. So, man, let's talk about your nerves, man. You know what I mean? When you got that phone call saying that you next man up, you know what I mean? Were you nervous, or were you excited, relieved? Give me that, big dog.
I mean, very bittersweet, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I mean, because Coach Barron's my best friend.
Yeah,
and, so being there with him every single day, and that was a sad part, but at the same time it was a very much of excitement. Number one, because it was going to allow us to keep the staff together. It's not just me. That you're thinking about it. It's a lot of other guys that go in place. If you was to hire from somewhere outside,
yeah,
they maybe want to bring in all their guys,
right?
And and that would be very understandable,
right?
So that was exciting to be able to keep everybody and relax everybody, and then how everybody embraced it, the kids especially, more so than even the community, and even the board and all the people at the school, but seeing that the kids were excited that I was going to be that, that took all the pressure off.
I bet. But I'm gonna tell you though, man. From from outside, outside looking in, I knew that was going to relieve the people. You know what I'm saying? Because you went through the mud with the kids since they've been in freaking middle school. Got connection with them, and then for you to get that, the head coaching job, man. Everybody put okay, y'all, we good. We ain't got nothing to worry about, type deal. So, man, so talk about. I know, when the coach come in, man, they have a culture that they want to, display. Talk about your culture, man. Again, I know you was on the Coach Bear, like you said, for 18 years. But what about his culture plus your culture that you're trying to, put together, man?
Yeah, I would say that the biggest thing that you want to keep is that hard nosed, blue collar, hard, great work ethic type stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think that mine would be with a blend of, a lot of organization, a lot of making sure that everything is simplified so we can play fast. And then also, like in the weight room stuff, I'm more of a speed and agility type person.
Yeah.
You know, like once you get to a certain strength, you know, like you want to make sure that you can still use that strength to be, assertive on the field and stuff like that. So like we've changed some stuff in the weight room
Okay.
to where it's a lot more speed and agility across the board.
Okay.
And then we also, have changed a lot of stuff to where we are more on a true routine at practice. Like we're going to start practice a certain way every day. I'm a big fundamentals guy.
Okay.
Like just because I just think that you can teach certain things, but those things are not going to happen the same way in the game all the time. But if
True.
you got the tools in the toolbox, then you can fix whatever you need to fix as they happen.
That's true. That's true.
So like that's kind of my philosophy on that. So like I'm more of a fundamental guy, and we've got some special packages and stuff. We're just try to maximize every kid in every position, and I do think that I'm going to try to do a really good job and letting the coaches coach, and also not cookie cutting Peter.
Right.
Right. Just because a kid looks like he's 225, 230 pounds don't mean that he's a lineman. Just because he's 175 pounds don't mean that he's fast. He may be a tough D-line type kid.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I like that.
We're trying to figure out all the kids and where they fit best, and we've had a good summer.
Yeah.
We really have. So we're excited about it.
I love that, man. Man, I'm gonna tell you something, big dog, man. There's one question that I always ask, every coach is, what I'm saying, how do you same thing like you just said, at the end of the day, it's about team needs, right? But what do you do if you have a kid, like for example, man, that he's probably on the college level, he may play a defensive end, right? You know what I'm saying? But, for you guys, you need to play linebacker type deal, right? How do you combat that, or, how do you, deal with that from a coach's standpoint?
Well, I do think, like, I think that, you get a little bit more of a, I guess you call it a leash, I guess. You get a little bit more credibility with the kids whenever you've had people that have been in that situation. Like, for instance, like Carlos Brown, he was a college running back, but he needed to play quarterback for us in triple option, And so, like, a kid, they see his jersey hanging up in the wall, and then you use that as an example, that they do that. But, like, a lot of times the colleges will, whenever they have a kid like that, they'll do a good job of saying that, we understand that you need to play this for them, but you're playing this for us. And then, if the situation occurs where you can work that person into that position so it's the best of both worlds,
right?
And that's outstanding. But I do think that that there is a lot of things that go a long ways with colleges, like and like college coaches, by that guy being and doing whatever he needed to do for that team at that time. Like they want that type of kid in their program, long term, and then. And that's a lot. There's a lot of kids that's like that in high school. I mean, you got a lot of kids that could be, for instance, it's going to be a wide receiver and then a tight end, but they may want to move that kid inside to, a tackle or something like that,
right.
And then like, I mean, just sometimes kids like, money type situations and like. Free education, getting to go to school for free, that's money.
Yeah.
And so like you sit there and say, hey, you're going to play tight end, at this level, but we need you to play receiver at this level or vice versa or something like that.
Yeah.
Because, if you sometimes you take a receiver and you make them a tight end, they become elite.
Right, right.
Because they're fast out there.
Yeah.
But everybody's fast out there.
Right.
And you come in here, and then all of a sudden, if you can block and do this, you can do this. And then all of a sudden, we take a tight end, like a Levi Brown kid that we had. Well, he was a tight end, and we moved him into tackle. And he became a average dime a dozen tight end or an elite tackle.
I agree with that.
So, like,
I like that.
And so, like, sometimes I think that having that credibility helps a lot. But at the end of the day, you've got to get the kids to buy into whatever you're doing, because if they can't see it, then it don't matter.
Right.
And it don't matter if you're right or wrong. If they're not doing it, you're wrong.
End of the day, yep.
So like,
yep.
I mean, it don't matter what the coach knows. It don't matter what, how smart he is. If he can't get those kids to play at that level, then it don't matter.
It don't matter. It don't matter. So, Coach, typically, man, when a coach come in who's brand new, you know what I'm saying, they have to win over the seniors first. But your situation different because you saw the seniors who's a freshman. You know what I'm saying? But still, but that being said, man, how important are your seniors to your program?
Extremely, like 100%. I mean, I kind of got this little saying thing, and I got it from Coach Akins, and she's our girls basketball coach.
Shouts out to Coach.
She's awesome. Best coach in the building by far. And but like basically, freshmen are supposed to make mistakes.
Right.
And that don't mean you're giving them permission, but they're supposed to. And then they should be making fewer as a sophomore. Then they should be executing as a junior. But then they should be problem solvers as seniors. And if they're not problem solvers as seniors, then that is the only time that you should be trying to get them out of the way. Any time until then, you should be giving them another chance. And so like I think that we have some awesome problem solvers this year.
Okay.
Seniors.
Okay.
We have a very good experienced line coming back with Jackson Akins and Isaac Walls, Lance Skinner, and A.J. Rogers. They're all returning starters. They're all very experienced. They're all extremely hard workers. And then we have a bunch of other seniors that are coming back, but like Ike, he's coming back and he's a really good player. But our leader is Maurice Finch. He's probably one of the best leaders that we've ever had at Hurd County, and we've had some good ones. As far as working with young kids and like helping this guy come along, and it's always good whenever your best players are your hardest workers.
Yeah.
And
every
so
day.
Like so having him helps a lot.
Okay. Okay.
Just because he doesn't. He's a very business-like approach on the field.
Yeah.
In the weight room, everywhere. And so like you have all of a sudden we started throwing on Wednesdays and Fridays in March. All the way up through the end of school, and just hey, if you can make it, great. If you got track, go to track. If you got this, you go to this.
Yeah.
But if you can make it, great. We're just going to try to get a head start. And all of a sudden, you roll up as a coach, and he's got 30 kids down there.
Dang.
Rocking and
That's
rolling.
leadership, baby.
He's the real deal.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
And I'm excited about this whole entire senior group. They've worked themselves into a situation. Everybody, myself included, kind of have a little chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
About,
Yeah.
The program's going to change and all this stuff like that. Everybody wants to prove that there's
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
and
Right.
and it starts with them. That's kind of how they've approached the whole summer, and we've had great participation, and they've been working really hard. So the seniors are extremely important. We're going to be relying on them, heavily, and that they're going to make our program, go.
And it's huge, man. So, Coach, talk about the middle school. You know what I'm saying? Now, how important to you is the middle school and the high school connection?
I mean, it's everything. We started out the summer differently this time, where we had the middle school do all their workouts at the high school. So basically, they were on the field, at 9 while we were in the weight room at the same time. And whenever we crossed over, we made it where there was a crossover period. So like we did a 20-minute crossover period with circuit type stuff of fundamentals with 6 through 12 on the field at one time, just to kind of have that relationship of, hey, you see how these seniors are working.
Yeah,
See the speed of it.
Yeah.
You're in 6th grade, but also like you're extremely important for you to be here because and we did all one little thing, breaking it up like on family and all that stuff as we try to let a middle schooler break it down for the whole day. So like there was a 20-minute period every day this summer that we did something middle school and high school all together. That's all the coaches, all the players, and so I mean it's super important. And I think that's one of the it's the key to everything. Really.
Right.
You're trying to teach them, how to work, and then you're also just trying to get people to want to be involved in your program. Because that's where you got to have them. Is numbers means a lot.
Yeah.
And then you should never give up on a middle school kid. There's so many middle school kids that never, they don't develop at the same rate as other kids and all that stuff. And we've had so many kids that have played as juniors and seniors that never played in the middle school. Like just everybody's athletic ability, and everybody hits puberty at different times.
Yeah.
Everybody, all that stuff. So just being and encouraging those kids to stay out, that means a lot. And so the middle school program and all the coaches that are working there are just as important as anything that I'm doing.
Man, that's major, man. So the weightlifting, Coach, man, sure, I want to tap into that some more. So you guys also do like a weightlifting competition. Man, dig into that if you don't mind.
Well, we just think that it's important to always, just to go see what other people are doing.
Yeah.
And whether that justifies what you're doing or it actually opens your eyes to say, hey, we need to be going back and looking at this or that or whatever. So it's not always just to do that, but it's also to show off our kids that, that are working. So we're big on that. So we started this middle school one, and we did a girls one. And so it turned out to be pretty big in our whole area. Like they came to the school and did it, and then we've always competed in the state championships with the high school kids.
Okay.
Or whatever. That's usually at Jefferson County across the state. And so our kids love that. And it also, I think it's very important to have short-term goals. So it usually hits about March.
Okay.
And so, if you're in that off-season time, you got, from January to March, there's a goal right there.
Right.
And
right.
So, whether, you're, and then from March to the end of the school year, then there's a goal. You're about to start the summer, and you're going to be, on a new team and all that stuff. And then, of course, in the summer, during the summer, it's a short term. We're doing our Iron Brave competition right now. So, I just think it's important for them to be working for something. So whether you're starting day one or you're that experienced guy that's kind of in that lull, it gives you that. Well, I'm working for this, and so it just kind of makes the school year go, and it kind of keeps the kids energized at all times.
Yeah.
Instead of just, hey, well, we're in the off season, we're just working,
Right.
What are you working for? We all know that you're working for the next football season or the next basketball season or whatever, but kids' attention spans don't think like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of to me, that's one of the best things that we've done is we have that short term.
I like
March,
that.
we're building towards that, and then we start over.
So Coach, let me ask this, man. I'm gonna go back to the head coach. So, man, do any time do you ever man, I don't care if you and your wife at home chilling, just relaxing, man. Does something tell you ever be like, dang, I'm the head coach?
I don't think like that.
Coach, you don't get that thought, Coach, for real, man. I'm talking about that one time, do you lay back in your chair, watch TV, like, baby, I'm the head. You know what I mean? I'm leading a team right now.
Yeah, I guess I would think like that on at nights. I've always had a hard time sleeping anyway. And stuff.
Yeah.
And so we have a bad day at practice or something like that. It carries over for a long time instead of just thinking about the next practice. Just start really worrying about it. What do we need to do to fix this or whatever? And so every little detail. I guess that would probably be more so than thinking of it in that sense of the term. I don't think like that. I think of it as trying to carry that pressure of.
Well, no. See. So not so much pressure, but just being blessed.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like just being blessed. Like, man, I'm really a head coach. You know what I mean? Of a team.
Yeah. God has been very good to me.
Yeah.
And football has been good to me.
Right.
And so having that ability to be able to be the coach of your hometown. That actually, I feel more humbled and
right there we go.
Than I am about the fact of hey, look at me, I'm the head coach.
Right. Yeah.
I don't talk like that.
Yeah.
But yes, very, very humbled
Yeah.
and blessed by, to have that, opportunity.
Yeah.
And, because it's just great to always have those, like relationships with kids. I think that would be the biggest thing that I've been like really, really been blessed to do is because whenever I became the athletic director, you know, you get into an office
Yeah.
and so I still had the connection with the kids because I was still coaching football.
Right.
But like you get so far removed from that everyday relationships, like where a kid's calling you all the time or texting you or coming by with has something going on at the house and they feel they trust you to talk about and stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
But once I went back into the weight room, and then I'm having them every day at practice, and and if something's going on at the house, they're like, I mean, like, that's not an overwhelming thing to me. That's something that I want to do.
I love
I
it.
want to always be involved in those kids' life, and so like that's been awesome.
Yeah.
Like, so like just being able to really, I guess, appreciate that because
Yeah.
I had lost that by being not out of a classroom.
Okay.
And so I really do appreciate the fact that I get to be around them kids all day, and that's been very.
That's a
humbling.
great feeling. I'm gonna tell you something, brother. Even in my profession, man, just to sometimes I be like, man, Lord, why me? You feel me? Yeah, I mean, you blessed. You feel blessed. But man, great thing you said a while ago, man, that it's being able to touch a kid. Like, you know what I mean? That's major to me, man. And knowing like 3 years down the road, 4 years down the road, they'll come back. You know what I mean? And talk about the impact you had on them. So I know they got to be fulfilling for you too when kids come back and be like, hey, coach, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we did over about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We did this elite camp. Basically, we called it Heard County Elite.
Okay.
And like Emory was, kind of he was the brainstorm behind it. Him and his mom, Miss Trina.
Okay.
And they kind of got that going. And so basically, everybody that was hanging up on the wall, that means that they were, all-state first teamer or something like that. We all invited them all back. Come back. And man, those kids came back from college all over the place and stuff, and like was out there working with them little kids. And
Yeah.
that's probably the greatest feeling that I've ever had.
There we go.
Like, I mean, you have a kid like Elijah Huzzy drive home from Tennessee, to work with those kids camp just because we asked him to for
Right.
one day.
Right.
Turn around and drive back to his college,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that right there,
It says a lot.
That's what it's all about.
It says a lot.
So, we had a lot of those kids to come, home, and that was awesome.
I love that, man. So, Coach, talk about the community. You know what I'm saying? For us, being supportive to you guys, man. Talk about that, man.
I mean, they're awesome. I mean, Heard County is very supportive of their own, and that they love to do anything that they can to help out any kid in Heard County, and that doesn't mean just sports. I mean, that you have a kid that doesn't participate in anything, and something's going on with their life. They got a whole program, with the school that will help them out. That they send out. It's called like this share app, and people just donate to that stuff all the time, and it's awesome. And we have a tremendous amount of support as far as with our board of education and our administration. They always support us, athletic wise, and then the parents and stuff. Like I think we have built up a lot of trust,
Okay.
with the parents and the community that they let us coach those kids hard. I mean, and that's a dying breed. People want to be coached until they get coached. That happens a lot. And
Right.
Once you let them, but these parents and our community, they really do let us coach them hard.
Okay.
And that's something that can't be said in a lot of places because they just have that sense of confidence that that we're doing the right thing, and I think at the end of the day they know that we love them. And so that we're not going to do anything that we wouldn't do with our kids and like our own personal kids.
Right.
And so like they have that sense of trust with us, and and so right now, on the flip side, from our coaching standpoint, then you got to respect that trust and not break it. So, but our community is awesome as far as helping us, and then of course they always show up. I mean, we're in games, good seasons, bad seasons, they're there.
Right.
I mean, and so that means a lot. I'm a big action guy.
Okay.
So like, whenever you see people showing up to support you, or you see, somebody coming back to help work with a kids camp, or you see, you might have started 0-3 and then you got a home game and stands are still full. That means a lot. So and then just always supporting the kids. That you can't say enough about that place, and very blessed to be able to work there.
Most definitely. So, Coach, we talk about multi-sport athletes. How do you juggle that? Being in a small school, man, kids got to play, multiple sports, man. But being the head football coach, man, how do you juggle that personally?
100% is all on relationships. If you can have a relationship with every coach in the building, and then you don't have a sense of I don't know, I would entitlement's probably the wrong word, but it almost seems like the right word. Entitlement that your program's better than their program, then it's easy to see. Like, I mean, for instance, we have kids that play baseball right now all through the summer.
Right.
Well, hey, if you got an important job that's going to happen in football, and we have a regular practice on a Monday, and you're getting to go play it, perfect game, and you're supposed to be pitching that day. Well, you need to go play there. Okay. That's more important today. You're getting to work on your skills for that, and it's a chance for you to be playing in front of somebody that you might get to go to school with.
Okay.
I'm stupid and selfish if I sit there and say, no, you can't go. You got to be at this regular old practice on a Monday.
Right.
But like, we go to a padded camp this Thursday, and we go to this padded camp, and we got people juggling positions and all that stuff. Well, we're supposed to have travel ball practice at this time, whatever. Well, then you need to give me that same respect. That's a big day for our program that we're going to be really evaluating stuff and all that stuff, and you could skip that.
Yeah.
Like, and we do that same thing with basketball and everything. And so I think our coaches really have bought into that. We try to also juggle that, like as far as basketball practices, first thing in the morning.
Right.
And those kids and our kids just do it. Like, they don't just say that, well, I'm going to choose. I'm going to go to this one or that one. And I really just think that they just do it because they bought into the work part of it. Softball practices at like 12 o'clock, and then girls basketball practices at like 9 a.m. And there's some of them crossovers, in the month of June, and that, so they just go to both. And so like just communication is number one key, and then having that trust of, if it's better for you for that program at that time, like trying to just be open with that, then you need to go to this one, or you need to go to this one, or whatever, And we have kids right now. We have our kicker, for instance. He's one of the best runners in the school, and so like there are days that he will not be at football practice even in the fall, that he's going to a cross country meet. Like, and the way I see that is, if I made that kid choose, he's not going to choose me.
Right.
So like, because that's something that he's very elite at, but I also need him.
Right.
So like,
right.
I could either force him to make that decision and just be like, nope, you're at football all the time. Well, he would choose to go run cross country.
Yep.
And then I'd lost that kid. And so like, I just think that as long as you have that open communication and you can have that, relationship with the other coaches and those kids to say, you need to be here on these days, and then I'll let you go on these days or whatever. It just works out. You got to do that at a small school, or you're just going to cut your own throat.
You'll cut your throat. I think you have a big issue. You don't want to do that. So, caught about, hey, Coach, don't talk about, heading to, so the season. So I know you say, so you guys coming in with a chip on your shoulder, and I love that, and you need that. You know what I'm saying? But still, Coach, what are your expectations for each athlete? Heading to week one?
we don't have any favors on our schedule.
Right.
You know, and I mean, you know, we have we're opening up with South Atlanta, who many a couple of years ago, whenever you're trying to put together a schedule, you think, well, that'd be a decent team, whatever. They were in the Elite Eight last year, and their running backs committed to the University of Arkansas. You don't play running back in the SEC if you're not legit.
Right.
And and so like that would be one of our easier games on our schedule. So
it's crazy.
You're talking about trying to tackle somebody that's going to be playing in the SEC. So like there's no favors on our schedule. But the bottom line is we have to just continue to get better every single week. And we want to win them all. There's nobody more competitive than me.
Right.
And we want to win them all, but we also want to win every possession, every time. And so we've kind of adopted this rule this summer that I'll be fine with us always competing and just never lose two things in a row. So like if you get beat by a guy, you got to get right back up, and you just can't lose two in a row. It's okay that you got beat once,
right?
But you can't lose two in a row, and then we need to string together two in a row.
I like that.
And then so
I like that.
If we can get to that point, and we're going to take that same philosophy all the way through the season, and whenever we get to our region, which is extremely tough this year, and just like it was last year, then we hope that we're ready for that at that point, and because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. And so that you can be hitting on all cylinders in the region, and then hitting hopefully even hitting at that next level, whenever the playoffs come, trying to keep it in 3 tiers basically.
Right.
You want to be in first gear basically whenever you going through the regular season and fine-tune stuff, fixing things, you can't, trying to, not make the same mistake twice, so to speak. You get to the region, you got to be able to catch another gear. Whenever you get to the playoffs, you need to be catching another gear.
Yeah.
And so, if you're not doing that, then, you're going to be bounced out.
Man. And that's a tough part, too. I always say this, that, finding that groove, throughout the year is so important. And clicking on all cylinders, like you were saying earlier, is so important once you get to those playoffs. You know what I mean? Man, I don't know if you remember the Green Bay Packers. I always talk about this, man. You know what I'm saying? When they the year they won the Super Bowl, they clicked at the right time. You know what I mean? And I think every program wants to do that. Click at the right time. When you're clicking, it's some good stuff going on then, some good stuff going on. So, Coach, man, I'm going to ask you something, man. At the end of the show, I always, get my guests to leave something positive to the people. You know what I'm saying, Coach? Your opportunity, man, drop a few bars for these people, man.
I don't know. I mean, every day that we're doing something in Franklin, I think that, it's a blessing that we get to work with those kids. And, and I've talked a lot about the kids, but it's a blessing. The most positive thing that I can say is I know for a fact that those coaches that are on our staff love those kids, and because they for the most part, almost all of them were those kids.
Yeah. Okay.
And so and so we have a great staff as far as very knowledgeable, but also love Hurt County, and that almost every single kid, I still say kids sometimes, on the staff played at Hurt County for us at some point in time. Me and Coach Kerbo are the old guys, now.
Right.
And then we have the Yates brothers. We have Jake, he's our OC, and Kyle, he runs our weight room, and Dylan, their youngest brothers, come on. He's going to be doing our D-line, and Tyler Spradlin, Dustin Lane, Corey, Paul Shonut. They're all Hurt County kids. I mean, they all went through our program. And then we have Coach Waldrop and Coach Napier that, they're just family.
Yeah.
And they all are cut from that same mode, that they all have that servant type leadership, that they're always there to just do whatever we need done and do whatever the kid needs done, or you don't have to say, hey, you got to go pick up this kid and you got to go do this or whatever. They just, half the time, you roll up at a practice and coaches getting out of their cars and kids are piling out of their cars. They got them relationships with those kids too.
Man.
So like the positive thing that I would say is that we're so appreciative to have them.
Yeah.
And we're so so grateful that they have come home and want to do right by that school and do right by that program, and and just getting to work with them every single day is a blessing, and I hope that our parents and community see that for what it's worth. It takes something to work through a program. A year is a long time in football.
Yeah.
But whenever you have people that love that place, it is so special that we hope that they all appreciate what those guys are doing, because I certainly do.
Right. I love it, Coach, man. Again, man, I appreciate you coming through, man.
No problem.
Showing love, man. Everybody, listen, man, thank y'all for tuning in, man. And y'all know my slogan. The fame is free, but the grind costs, baby. Zip them up.